Nobody did more work on the quarterbacks in this draft behind Cam Ward than the New York Giants did. Nobody pinpointed the one guy that they'd want as a developmental quarterback the way the Giants did.
And the Giants are one of the most patient organizations in the NFL. Look, when Eli Manning, ended up there, look, the plan wasn't to play Eli right away. They had a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Kurt Warner as their starting quarterback. But ultimately, they wanted him to play, they wanted him to develop. And look, the reality is like starting the back half of the season, his rookie year, prepared him going forward.
I think he has the potential to be the steal of the draft in 2 or 3 years from now.
When the 2024 college football season ended, 2 quarterback names dominated every conversation. Cam Ward was destined for the first overall pick, but just 2 spots later, all eyes turned to the New York Giants. Everyone expected them to find their franchise quarterback sometime in the 2nd round, maybe even 3rd. Instead, they shocked everyone.
The Houston Texans have traded the 25th pick to the New York Giants. With the 25th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Jaxson Dart, quarterback, Mississippi.
A transfer portal success story with a big arm and even bigger upside, Jaxson Dart arrives as the latest hope for a franchise still chasing the magic of Eli Manning 2 decades later. And this is why Jaxson Dart is the future of the New York Giants. Now, Jaxson Dart began his collegiate career in sunny Southern California, set to lead the way for a new era of Trojan football. Winning Gatorade Player of the Year as a senior in high school gave him a late surge towards the top quarterback rankings in a stacked 2021 class, which included the likes of Caleb Williams, Drake May, and JJ McCarthy. And look, Jaxson Dart's name deserved to be there, and he was ready to make a name for himself at the next level. Dart started a few games towards the end of a tumultuous season in LA, showing flashes of greatness. But that offseason, Lincoln Riley took over coaching duties and brought along Caleb Williams over from Oklahoma.
When Lincoln got hired, I was ecstatic. I mean, there was no thoughts of me leaving. I was just super pumped to play for such an elite coach. And I thought that, USC was going to be the place for me.
So we had that assurance for about 30 minutes, probably. And then we quickly realized, he's bringing his guy. So it will be an electric offense, but it's going to be with his guy. Like, you're the backup.
Dart took this as a sign, entering the transfer portal where there were plenty of potential suitors. Lane Kiffin was among the first to reach out to him, and the rest is history. And as college quarterbacks often do, Jaxson Dart absolutely thrived in Kiffin's offense. His big arm and remarkable toughness rapidly made him a fan favorite in Oxford. A 7-win start was undone by a collapse in the second half of his first season of SEC football, before outdueling Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels in a shootout in year 2, securing his first bowl game win in a stunning fashion against Penn State. As a senior, he led the Rebels to marquee wins over Georgia and Oklahoma, and it was safe to say that Jaxson Dart had proven himself as a man for the big moments and a true competitor. His production was second to none. He led the SEC in passing yards while leading the nation in yards per game and passing efficiency. And yes, many people did kind of have concerns about his just anticipation and even his mechanics, but what you saw on film, nobody could deny how good he looked. Like, his ability to play through contact and fight for yards at all costs made him an alluring prospect, widely considered the 3rd best quarterback behind Cam Ward and Colorado's Shedeur Sanders. And that's the thing, because of Dart's just higher upside and just him being a true playmaker and having that almost Patrick Mahomes feel to him, some people were mocking him to go inside of the 1st round. And it's because of that too that kind of makes the events that did take place on draft night just that much more shocking because, well, they came true. The Giants were the first team drafting after the selection of Cam Ward, who had a clear need at quarterback, and despite endless mocks sending them a signal caller at 3rd overall, they went with the edge rusher Abdul Carter out of Penn State. As the draft did progress and quarterback-needy teams continued to fill other holes, by pick 24, it appeared likely that Dart would have to wait until day 2 to hear his name get called. That wasn't until Joe Shane and company made a move.
The Houston Texans have traded the 25th pick to the New York Giants. With the 25th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Jaxson Dart, quarterback, Mississippi.
And yes, while it kind of seemed like there were conflicting just reports about who their favorite prospect was, well, in the Giants front office, they knew who they liked. Jaxson Dart is now the quarterback of the future. Murmurs that he had won over the Giants staff in the evaluation process were then verified in an instant as Dart entered the NFL with a fairly familiar color scheme. And yes, you could say that just him being picked before Shedeur Sanders was completely controversial, as is the other 4 quarterbacks or 3 quarterbacks that went before Sanders, but that's a whole different video for a whole different time. But you could argue that his ceiling is just much higher than that of what Sanders's is. And yes, he may not be quite ready to start right away, but that might be a good sign for the Giants because now they can sit him and develop him how they want to. Nevertheless, though, the skill set that drove New York to trade back into the first round for Dart is fairly remarkable. At his post-draft press conference, head coach Brian Daboll praised his new quarterback's decision-making, toughness, and athleticism, even admitting,
"Yeah, I think he's got a lot of qualities you look for in a good quarterback. He's tough, makes good decisions with the football, pushes the ball down the field, has athletic ability, played in a really tough conference, started there at USC as a young guy, but, did a really good job throughout this process of our meetings, board work, workouts, and the tape that we like. So I look forward to working with him. I'm glad he's here, and we'll get started as soon as we can."
Now, with that being said, Brian Daboll also has made it clear that Jaxson Dart would certainly not be the starting quarterback going into 2025. Instead, that burden would fall onto veteran Russell Wilson. And I think confirming this from the jump is extremely important too, as it removes some of the weight of expectation off the rookie's shoulders. Especially for this upcoming season, which will be the first without Daniel Jones on their books, the Giants are looking to turn a new page. After also being selected early in the first round back in 2019, Jones proved unable to fill the void left by Eli Manning under center, effectively given a baptism of fire in the nation's most infamously hostile media market. It would appear that the front office has learned from their predecessors, opting to shield their first-round quarterback from the intense media scrutiny that is part of being the quarterback of the Giants. Sitting behind Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston won't just preserve Dart's mental health, but serve as a crucial role in developing him into a starter. Because, truthfully, there are things that still do need to be ironed out of Dart's game, especially from his Joe Gruden just kind of camp he went to. His snap count is one of them.
Stand up. Let me see your snap count. Let me be honest with me, because I see at USC, I see this guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah. No, I want to hear the snap count.
Yeah.
Really? Every time?
Every time.
Do you have like a dummy clap or anything?
Yeah, we call it purple.
What's that? No shit.
Yeah.
For 3 years, you've been clapping. I think I could do that.
Let me hear it.
No, I ain't doing it.
One of the primary criticisms of Lane Kiffin's offense is that they inflate the quarterback's numbers, possessing a simplicity that rarely translates to reliable production at the next level. Dart looked great at Ole Miss, but there were very legitimate questions around the sustainability of his playstyle when he would reach the NFL. And I think that's the thing, is Brian Daboll is going to be looking to be more aggressive and attack more vertically, especially given the skill set that Jaxson Dart does have and the weapons at his disposal as well. While the franchise clearly believes he is the man to usher in a new era, the veteran leadership from Wilson and Winston, who were both media darlings at various points in their careers, will be extremely valuable on and off of the field. The arrival of Abdul Carter alongside him in the first round is a great haul for New York. It honestly reminds me of the JJ McCarthy and Dallas Turner move from Minnesota last season, as well as the CJ Stroud and Will Anderson move the year prior. Each pairing possesses its own unique skill set, but the Texans duo is a dream scenario as far as making an immediate impact. Regardless, picking elite offensive and defensive talent in the first round of the draft has proven as a positive turning point in the direction of each franchise, and the Giants will be hoping for much of the same. And as those examples that I just mentioned too, Jaxson Dart from those examples was the only quarterback that was taken after the defensive counterpart. So that is kind of just a weight off his shoulders that he doesn't need to worry about being the better player of the two, I guess you could say, since he was picked later in the draft. Not only that too, it's just going to help him easing into becoming the starting quarterback eventually for the G-Men. And they have a squad around him. As we all remember, 2024's first round pick Malik Neighbors is the standout. The wideout had a stellar rookie campaign with over 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns as the silver lining in a woeful few months in New York. Neighbors broke various rookie records while reaching important franchise milestones at the age of just 21. He's a bona fide superstar in the Big Apple, and Jaxson Dart has his wide receiver 1 locked down for years to come. Neighbors can pretty much do it all. He was one of the most complete wideout prospects of all time and lived up to it in his first year in the league. The numbers he put up despite subpar team and especially quarterback play cannot be overstated either. The dude is a beast who can thrive in any environment. He will no doubt be the safety valve for Jaxson Dart, whose favorite target in college, Trey Harris, went to high school with Malik Neighbors in Lafayette. There's no chance that's just coincidence either. The front office, Jaxson Dart, and Malik Neighbors all had to know that too once Jaxson Dart was taken, or even before he was taken too. So Giants fans, I think if that's a sign of anything that Jaxson Dart is going to be a hit, then, well, I don't know what is. Running back Tyrone Tracy also had a solid rookie campaign in 2024, a weapon in both the run and pass game. While tight end Theo Johnson will be hoping for more consistent quarterback play in year 2. Wan'Dale Robinson has also been improving year on year and should be a dependable slot receiver as he enters his 4th season in the league, rounding out a core of young offensive weapons. Darius Slayton and Devin Singletary bring a veteran presence to the skill position group to help balance out the youth as well. As this unit does grow together though, alongside Jaxson Dart, Giants fans can begin to be justifiably excited for their offense of the future. Brian Dable's offensive nuance should really help this unit gel together, and just his endorsement of Jaxson Dart shows that he envisions that Dart is the right man to rally the group and restore the Giants to their former glory. It's not only their belief in the former Ole Miss quarterback that made their trade for the 25th overall pick worth the cost, but the move was clever from a logistical perspective as well. New York didn't have to give up a first rounder to get back into the first round, and the other pieces that they had to give up for it weren't that bad either. As far as value for picks go, the move was incredibly well executed by Shane and company. Furthermore, by selecting Dart in the first round, New York will have a 5th-year option on his contract, an option that wouldn't have been available for them if he was selected any later. And yes, while the true value of activating a 5th-year option is entirely contextual, considering just how young Jaxson Dart is, freshly 22 by opening day of the 2025 season, it may be a necessary buffer in case the adjustment period takes longer than expected. Exercising the 5th-year option on Daniel Jones's contract back in 2023 could have saved the organization a significant amount of cap space, as they may not have been as easily convinced to sign him to the 4-year, $160 million mega deal. That contract remains a major strain on the front office's record, which they are hoping to erase if Jaxson Dart is a success. Consequently, too, this season has got to be do or die for Shane after back-to-back seasons of dreadful losing football. And now that the Giants finally have their guy for the most important position in sports, it will be a real test of this front office's roster building capabilities to see if they can fully capitalize off of it. The past few drafts have given them some solid foundation to build on. The challenge will be finding depth and getting a few more elite pieces. As we mentioned earlier, in 2023, the Texans showed it's not out of the realm of possibilities for a team that drafts big impact players on both sides of the ball in the first round to completely turn the team around over the course of a single season. Who knows, maybe Dart gets a significant amount of playing time this season, starts ahead of schedule, and helps bring in some surprise results. Abdul Carter's arrival on the defensive side of the ball continues to build out an already formidable front four, leaving much of the game to be decided by the offense, which last season was 2nd worst in the league. If Dart can actually get them going in 2025 and possibly start, maybe the Giants can get back to their winning ways. Although the scenes in New York would be sensational if that kind of turnaround were to happen, it more than likely will be a slower process of integration for Dart. We've already gotten confirmation that he won't be starting by week 1, which suggests we could see a Mahomes-like rookie year for Dart. On top of that, they have to face the Eagles and Commanders twice a year, teams who are stacked with talent on both sides of the ball, with defenses that would be tough for the rookie to carve up in their current state. And that's the thing too, asking for patience from Giants fans is never likely to be well received, especially after the quite frankly embarrassing state of affairs in 2024. But there is no denying that something is cooking in the Meadowlands. Neighbors is the face of a young and hungry offense who in the near future will be led by a gunslinging quarterback with boundless upside and a toughness and grit that New York will certainly appreciate. And look, in short, the Giants have every right to be excited by their work from the 2025 NFL Draft.